Hello children, welcome to the session of respiration part 2. Now let's have a quick recapitulation. We have seen in the first chapter, that is first part, that is steps in respiration, respiratory system of man, live demonstration of lungs of goat which I brought from the butcher shop, then pathway of air, role of epiglottis and mechanism of respiration in human beings. Now today I'll be dealing about gaseous exchange. Now as I told you in the last session, there is an exchange of gas between the alveolus and capillaries. You can clearly see here, take one picture, one alveoli and surrounded by a blood capillary. You can see red structures which are oval, isn't it children? This is the blood capillary and these are the red structures which are called as RBCs. Blood contains RBC, red blood cells. It contains a pigment that is hemoglobin. That's the reason our blood is in red color. Now hemoglobin has the capacity to bind up the oxygen and to take that oxygen to the tissues. Now you can see oxygen is coming into the blood capillary and carbon dioxide is going out of the blood capillary to the alveolus. Now gaseous exchange takes place within the lungs by diffusion, the alveoli to blood capillaries and vice versa. Blood, dark red in color, flows from the heart through these capillaries, collect oxygen from the alveoli. At the same time, the carbon dioxide passes out of the capillaries and into the alveoli. When we breathe out, we get rid of this carbon dioxide. That is nothing but expiration. Now let's see the transport of gases. As I told you children, the blood contains a pigment called as hemoglobin. That's the reason our blood is in red color. That hemoglobin carries oxygen to form what? Yes, it is oxyhemoglobin. Hemoglobin plus 4 molecules of oxygen combines to form oxyhemoglobin. That happens in the lungs. As oxygen is diffused in the blood, it rapidly combines with the hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin. Now in tissues, now the blood capillaries will take that blood to the tissues. In tissues, the partial pressure of oxygen is low. Now dissociation. You can see children that oxyhemoglobin is dissociating into hemoglobin and 4 molecules of oxygen. Now where does this oxygen go? We will deal with that in cellular respiration. Now hemoglobin is all alone. It is very sad. Now carbon dioxide accompanies it and makes it as carboxyhemoglobin. The tissue cells are continuously using oxygen, forming oxyhemoglobin. The oxyhemoglobin releases the oxygen molecule that enters the cell. Now this is the major topic which is very important to you in the class 10th and usually asked in the exams also. Cellular respiration, the pathway which cells release energy from the chemical bonds of the food molecules that enter them. We have learned in the nutrition chapter children, we obtain food. From that food, the food is broken down in the digestive system. Now it enters the blood in the form of glucose. Now the glucose is oxidized. We have seen in the tissues children, the oxygen gets dissociated. Now that oxygen combines with glucose. We will see in the next slides. First let's see the type of cellular respiration. Children, we know we have 2 types of cells, single celled organisms and multicellular. That single celled organisms are called as what children? Yes, those are prokaryotes and multicellular eukaryotes. Prokaryotes, the cellular respiration occurs in the cytoplasm. Now in the eukaryotic cells, it occurs in the cytoplasm and mitochondria. Why is that? Yes, because in prokaryotic cell, these are single cell organisms. They do not have cell organelles. Now in eukaryotic cell, we have membrane bound nucleus and a well developed cell organelles. One such cell organelle is mitochondria. Now children, mitochondria. We have been learning about the mitochondria in the class 9th, the chapter cell organelles. Now mitochondria is called as powerhouse of the cell. Why? Power means energy. Now what is the currency of India, children? Yes, it's rupee. The same way the currency of energy is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Now 1 ATP will release 7200 kilocalories of energy. Now those ATPs are stored in mitochondria. That's the reason it is called as powerhouse of the cell. Now children, you can see here ATP, 3 molecules of phosphate are present. That's the reason, children. Tri means 3, di means 2. Tri, di. ATP, adenine triphosphate. Now you can see, children, one phosphate molecule is released from the cell for the energy. Now triphosphate will become diphosphate, ADP. Now another molecule of phosphate will come to the rescue from the food we take, again forming the ATP. Now whenever you feel tired, that is there is no energy, the mitochondria will release the ATP molecules. That's the reason it is called as powerhouse of the cell. Now cellular respiration is basically of two types, aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic air, that means presence of oxygen, anaerobic removal, that is anaerobic respiration, absence of oxygen or low amount of oxygen is present. Now presence of oxygen, that is aerobic respiration. As I told you, children, the food we take, the energy is stored in the form of glucose. Now this glucose is oxidized in the presence of oxygen to form carbon dioxide, water and energy. This happens in plants and animals. This carbon dioxide is again released out from the lungs. Water is taken up by the body. Energy is what we use for the daily activities. Now absence or low amount of oxygen, glucose. In the absence or low amount of oxygen, it forms lactic acid plus a few amount of energy is released, that is lactobacillus, then ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy, that is yeast. Children, let's see, in anaerobic respiration we have learned that there is a release of carbon dioxide and heat. Let's do some experiments in that. So carbon dioxide is produced during fermentation. For that I took maida, yeast powder and a pan. Now we will make chapatis, children. We will make duff. We need it and we will make duff. I made the duff and added yeast to it. I kept it for some time. I could see some pore-like structures which are liberating some sort of foul smell. What is that? Yes, during the process of fermentation, there is a characteristic smell that can be observed by our nose. We can observe that the maida duff volume has increased. You can see, children, here the maida duff is now a little bit small. The volume is increased and small pore-like structures are here. Now the small pore-like structures can be seen. Why the small pore-like structures have been seen here? Because ethanol, because of that smell, that is nothing but the ethanol, and the carbon dioxide is released. So the characteristic smell that can be observed by the nose because of the ethanol, and small pore-like structures can be seen, that means carbon dioxide is released. Aerobic respiration. Let's have a quick review of aerobic respiration. Occurs in presence of oxygen and complete breakdown or oxidation of food. Yields more energy. Occurs in both cytoplasm and mitochondria. In what? Yes, in eukaryotes. And end products are carbon dioxide and water. Example, plants, animals, most multicellular organisms. Anaerobic respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen or low amount of oxygen. Incomplete breakdown or partial oxidation of food. Yields less energy. Occurs in cytoplasm, that is prokaryotes. End products may vary, ethanol, lactic acid. Whether it is fermentation, it is ethanol. Okay, children? Now example is yeast, some bacteria, muscle cells in human. Yes, muscle cells in humans. Children, let's do some activities here. Now I am stretching my hand. I am comfortably stretching my hand. I am not feeling any pain. That is, muscles are in contraction. That is, glucose is oxidized. Aerobic respiration is taking place. Now there is energy release. I am comfortably doing that. After a while I am feeling pain in my muscles. Why is that? That is, there is no availability of oxygen. Why? What happened to the aerobic respiration? Children, in aerobic respiration, what happens? The glucose is oxidized to produce carbon dioxide, water and energy. But that energy will not last for more than half a second. Now I am continuously doing it for more than 1 minute. The energy which is producing is lasting for half a second. Now what about the next part? After that, if there is no availability of oxygen, anaerobic respiration is taking place. Now when in anaerobic respiration there is low amount of oxygen or no oxygen at all. Now the carbon dioxide is formed and less amount of energy is released, which is not sufficient for me to carry out the process. And why is that I am feeling pain in my muscles? It's because of the lactic acid formation. Let's have some pictures. You can see children here, a man is walking, there are few people jogging and few people are exercising. Now athlete, during this strenuous exercise, how could this athlete manage and run a 100-meter race and won the titles? Isn't it? There is a puzzle? No, there is nothing puzzle. They need a lot of practice for that. Children will be seeing in the movies also, they have a time set to take the record. They will set the time within the 2 minutes. You have to make 5 rounds. In that way they practice. Now how is that happening? Let's see. So a study was conducted to analyze the accumulation of lactic acid in the blood of a person during and after the exercise. So here in x-axis time in minutes, y-axis concentration of lactic acid in blood. Now a person was asked to pedal the cycle or run a treadmill. So the person could do the activity, but it lasted only for 9 minutes. After 9 minutes he could experience pain. Why is that I am experiencing pain in my hand, children? Yes, there is a formation of lactic acid. So a study was conducted just to know how far the lactic acid is present in the blood. So they have seen here. So 0 to 10 minutes, 9 minutes the experiment lasted, children. So graph showing the effects of vigorous exercise on the concentration of lactic acid in the blood. See children, initially it was 20 milligrams per cube. Then it went to 80. Then highest accumulation of lactic acid was 100 milligrams. Slowly it decreased. Means this decrease in the lactic acid concentration means that aerobic respiration took place. Now children, turn to the page number 36. You can answer the questions. The concentration of lactic acid in the blood to start with is 20 milligrams per centimeter cube. Second, 100 milligrams per centimeter cube were the highest concentration reached during the experiment. It takes 80 minutes for the original lactic acid level to be reached again. Fourth, high level of lactic acid indicates about anaerobic respiration. Accumulation of lactic acid results in the muscular pain. During a 100-meter race, a well-trained athlete can hold his breath all the time. It's not until after he pants. Children, look here children, when you run, you pant. This is panting. You take breathe very fastly. This is panting. So when he is running a race, until he pants, he cannot be able to get rid of that lactic acid. That muscles are using the energy released during the breakdown of the anaerobic breakdown of glucose. So when we undertake strenuous exercise, we build up what is called as oxygen depth. Depth means children low. Now I was doing my exercise very comfortably, was not having any pain, but after a while or after half a second or more than 1 minute, I could experience some sort of pain here. That means there is no oxygen present here. That is, aerobic respiration is stopped. When aerobic respiration stops, anaerobic respiration takes the further step. Now in anaerobic respiration, there is no amount of oxygen, low amount of oxygen or no oxygen. Now it will release only minimum amount of energy, which is not sufficient for us. To compensate this oxygen depth, that runner has to take few oxygen, that is, he has to breathe in between the race so that he can remove that accumulation of lactic acid from the blood. Okay. In a longer race, athletes have to breathe all the time. Some lactic acid is removed while they are running, and they can go on for longer before becoming exhausted. So children, in anaerobic respiration, we have seen that there is release of carbon dioxide and energy. Let's see how far it is correct. with the experiments of yeast. Testing for the production of heat and carbon dioxide under anaerobic respiration. Apparatus, glucose solution, yeast, liquid paraffin, Janus green, wash bottle, lime water, thermometer and glass beaker. Apparatus, glucose solution, yeast, liquid paraffin, Janus green B, wash bottle, lime water, thermometer and glass beaker. Now this is the setup of the experiment. This is the glass beaker. Children, first we have to pour some amount of glucose. Now if there is glucose, obviously aerobic respiration takes place and oxygen is present. Now we do not want oxygen here. So to remove that oxygen, we have to slowly heat the glucose for a minute, and without shaking it we have to keep aside. If you still want to confirm whether there is oxygen present or not, you can add Janus green B solution. If it turns to pink color, that means oxygen is present. Then again you have to reheat it without shaking. We have to keep that glucose solution apart for a minute. Okay, the glucose solution when you heat, then keep it aside, add yeast to it, then liquid paraffin on the top of the solution. Now insert the thermometer and the delivery tube, which in turn is going into the lime water. Now after a while there is increase in the temperature in the thermometer. The lime water turns milky, which indicates the release of carbon dioxide. That means glucose in anaerobic respiration will release carbon dioxide and energy. Now where you can see energy, children? Yes, in the form of heat. That's the reason thermometer has a rise in temperature. Result: in anaerobic respiration, carbon dioxide and heat are liberated by yeast. Now what are the precautions? As I told you, to check the oxygen has been removed from the mixture, for this add few drops of diazine green B solution before pouring liquid paraffin. Blue dye turns pink when oxygen is around it. Now observing changes during combustion of sugar. Combustion means, children, burning. Okay. Carbon dioxide, a byproduct of energy released. Apparatus, glucose, test tube stand, delivery tube, lime water and spirit bottle. Now this is the setup of the experiment. Now the glucose is burnt, that is combustion took place, test tube, then a delivery tube is inserted to the lime water. The glucose melts, it becomes black, charring, and it catches the fire and burns. This is called as combustion. Now glucose, anaerobic respiration, carbon dioxide plus energy is released. Result: in anaerobic respiration, carbon dioxide and heat is released during the combustion. Now heat produced by living organisms. As I told you, when we walk, run or jog or do strenuous exercise, we feel that some amount of heat is released from our body. We feel very warm, no, children? That is nothing but the energy is released during the respiration. Now the energy is stored in the form of ATP. What is the currency of the energy, children? Yes, it is ATP. Now next, it is utilized in our day-to-day life activities. Now I am speaking to you, children. Why? Because of the aerobic respiration is taking place in me, right? It is giving energy to speak to you, right? Now what about the excess amount of energy? It is released in the form of heat. Now evolution in gaseous exchanging system. Single cell organisms directly from the body by diffusion. Then multicellular animals, special organs are evolved. Third, depending on habitat, body size, availability of water and the types of circulatory system, terrestrial or aquatic animals adopt. Now these are the single celled organisms: amoeba, hydra, earthworm and planaria. Children, through the process of diffusion, they will take up the oxygen and expelled out the carbon dioxide. Now branchial respiration in fish. Children, assume my hand as the gills of the fish. Now when fish take up the water comes and wets my hands. That means these gills are bathed in the water. Now as we know, we terrestrial animals, terrestrial beings take up the oxygen which is in the form of gas. What about the animals which are living in the water, that is aquatic animals? Yes, that oxygen is in the form of dissolved oxygen in water. Now, when the gills are bathed in water, the dissolved oxygen is taken up by the gills. Now, by this, the branchial respiration in fish takes place. Now, tracheal respiration in cockroach. The same way we had trachea, the same way the cockroach also have trachea. Now, our trachea turned into bronchus, bronchioles, alveoli. The same way the trachea opened into small tiny spiracles which are filled with the air sacs. Now, respiration in frog. Frog is a very special being. Why is that? Frog is an amphibian. Amphi means two. It can live in land, it can live in water. Land, water. Now children, you will be confused between the crocodile also. It lives on land and water. No, crocodile is a reptile. We will deal again with it later. But frog is an amphibian which happily lives in water and land. That's the reason it is called as amphibian. Now, it undergoes two types of sleep. Estivation, summer sleep, hibernation, winter sleep. You can see the frogs only in the rainy season, isn't it children? In winters and summers, they will be happily sleeping. What is the sleep when they do in the summer children? It is estivation, while they will be having their winter sleep, that is hibernation. So, because they will be sleeping all the time, no metabolic activities, they have to also respire. Now, how do they respire? Let's see. Now, there are three types of respiration, that is cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous means through skin, that is oxygen is getting in and carbon dioxide is getting out. Next, it has lungs. Pulmonary respiration through mouth cavity, buccopharyngeal cavity. Children, this is the buccal cavity. Buccal cavity, we have tongue and teeth, right? The same way through the mouth cavity, buccopharyngeal cavity. Now, coming to the plants. Yes, plants also respire. But how do they respire? Do they have nose? Do they have nostrils like us? No, they have a specialized kidney shape, bean shape, or things called as stomata. Through stomata, gaseous exchange in plants takes place. Now, respiration in plants occurs in leaf as a respiratory organ, that is stomata. Second, lenticels in the stem. Then aeration or surface roots. Oh, you will be confused now. Roots are meant for water intake. No, some roots are there which are helping the plants to respire. Particularly the plants which are living in the exclusively all the time in the water. We will be dealing with this in the further slides. Now, respiration in plants. Leaf as a respiratory organ. Water film, air space, stomata. Now children, see here diffusion. What is diffusion? The movement of water molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration. I repeat, the movement of water molecules to higher concentration to lower concentration. Now let us assume the plant. Now plant has stem, leaves, flowers, then stem will protrude into the soil to the form roots. Then roots have small tiny structures called as what? Root hairs. Now the soil has water. The root hairs have to take up the water. Now the water concentration of the soil is high. Now through the process of diffusion, as I told you, soil contains water, root hairs have no water, concentration is low. Water concentration is high in the soil. Now slowly from the soil, now the water from the soil will enter slowly towards the root hair, from the root hairs to the roots, roots to the xylem. Children, in the 9th class we have learnt that xylem transports water, minerals and salts, right? Now through the xylem, from the xylem to stem, to the leaf, to all parts of plant, isn't it? Now, what happens here? So, there is a thin film, water film. You can see here children, there is a thin water film within the air spaces. This is a stomata. So, if a water film is forming throughout the stem and the leaves. So, that is nothing but your cell gradient. So, by step process, again children I will tell you, soil, root hairs, roots, then it comes to the xylem, stem, to the all parts of the plant. Now, by diffusion, the oxygen is used up by the cells. A cell gradient develops between the cells and the air in the spaces. Now, the glucose. Now, the oxygen is taken up by the plant, right children? Aerobic respiration takes place here. Now, where did the glucose come from? Children, you know the process of photosynthesis, right? carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll pigment, they form glucose, water and oxygen. Now this glucose is oxidized by the oxygen to form carbon dioxide, water and energy. Yes, plants also need energy to perform their activities, right? Now this carbon dioxide they take up for the photosynthesis or they get in. Next, in the same way as carbon dioxide is released by the cells, a gradient occurs in the reverse direction and it passes out to the environment. Now lenticels, you can see tiny pore-like structures on the stem. Yes, these also help the plant to perform respiration, that is gaseous exchange. Now aeration of roots, as their walls are very thin, they obtain oxygen from the air spaces existing between the soil particles. For an example, hollow stem. Hollow means, children, you can see here hollow. There is a space here, hollow stem. You can see where the plants are living exclusively in the water. For an example, lotus plant, the hollow stem. Now through this hollow stem, the gaseous exchange is taking place. Aerial or respiratory roots. Mangrove plants, children, we have studied in the 9th class adaptations by the plants, okay, mangrove plants. Now pneumatophores, pneumato means, children, air. Yes, the roots have pores which helps in the respiration. So their roots are called as aerial roots above the soil surface and takes in oxygen through these roots. So carbon dioxide is evolved during respiration. Apparatus, soak seeds, cloth pouch, glass bottle and lime water and rubber cork. Soak seeds. Now soak the seeds, wrap in a cloth pouch, children, and keep it aside. After 2 to 3 days we can see germinating seed, that is sprouted seeds. Now in a set A, have these sprouted seeds and beaker with lime water. Set B, unsprouted seeds, beaker with lime water. Now in a set A which has germinating seeds, the color changes faster because carbon dioxide is formed faster in aerobic respiration. Result, carbon dioxide is released in aerobic respiration. Heat is evolved during respiration. Apparatus, germinating seeds, thermoflask, thermometer and the rubber cork. Record the temperature for every 2 hours. You are advised to do this for at least 24 hours. That is, for every 2 hours you need to check that temperature. Heat evolved carbon dioxide in respiration. For this we need a thermoflask. You need to insert germinating seeds in it and insert thermometer. Observation, there is increase in temperature. Temperature increases steadily at the time of a day. Result, during respiration, heat is evolved from the germinating seeds. It is indicated by thermometer kept inside it. So there is an equation below summarizes the photosynthetic activity, children. 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 12 molecules of water in the presence of light and chlorophyll gives rise to glucose, that is sugar, water and this oxygen. Now this oxygen is utilized is in the form of gas and released through the stomata which we are taking up. Now aerobic respiration, glucose in the presence of oxygen forms carbon dioxide, water and energy. What we have learned, children, in this class, now there is a gaseous exchange takes place in the blood capillaries which are taking up the oxygen and expelling out the carbon dioxide. Aerobic respiration occurs in the adequate supply of air producing lot of energy, carbon dioxide and water. Then anaerobic respiration and fermentation occur in inadequate supply of or absence of oxygen to produce a little amount of energy. Now photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplast to produce sugar, starches and other carbohydrates for the plant metabolic needs. So improve your learning, distinguish between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Children, it is very important question. Differences between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Next, write briefly about transport of gases. Then after a vigorous exercise or work, we feel pain in muscles. What is the relationship between pain and respiration? For better understanding on the all the topics, please visit our website, that is SCERT. So children, I hope this respiration session part 1 and part 2 have enlightened you about the energy releasing system, that is respiration. Thank you.
ఆ చదువులమ్మ నేరుగా ప్రతి ఇంటి గడప చేరగా మీ భవితకే భరోసా దూరదర్శన్ వేదిక